Shalom, Israel. Shalom, shalom. Brother Naquam, watchman for Israel, coming back at you with these precepts. And another cold cut, giving, of course, our honor and our glory to Yahweh by Shema Mashiach Malaki Bashai. Double honors to the elect elders of the house of David that's been in this truth for decades and decades, patiently waiting for the second coming of Hamashiach Malaki Bashai. A hearty, mighty shalom to all of the mighty men of the Most High God who are out there in the highways and byways, pushing this truth, magnifying the ministry, presenting their bodies as a living sacrifice, and enduring all things for the elect, saying shalom, shalom. Shalom to all of the men that may not be out there in the highways and byways as of yet, but they're working on it. They're getting built up in the spirit. They're praying, they're fasting, they're studying, they're being diligent and abounding in the work of the Lord. Shalom, shalom. Shalom to all of the aquath out there, the sincere sisters out there, moving in the spirit of a righteous foremother. Shalom, shalom. Shalom to the ancient men and children and the elect of Israel scattered abroad throughout the four corners of the earth. And last but not least, shalom to everybody tuning in live. Yahweh's servant, Jadesh Delphius, L, Don Israel, Yolanda Caesar, Yvette McKellar, HBK Ent, Vernon Brody, Brother Believe, Brother Azariah Shalom King, Jeremiah Bunny Ashala, Solomon McFadden, and everybody else tuning in and that will tune in, Lord willing. Right, the topic of this cold cut is false flags are on the rise for quote unquote black Hebrew Israelites, right? False flags are on a rise for quote unquote black Hebrew Israelites. That is the name that they give us. That is a pure, wicked label put on the Israelites, the sons of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the sons of the living God. And with the latest news that's been put out there, brothers were saying, well, it could be a false flag, and that's a spirit because it could be, man. Right now, it could be actual true, right? It could be an actual realistic judgment on that congregation, right? Pastor, I believe it's Pastor Dow and Straightway Ministries, where they had this child that came up missing, and they found him, and now everybody get caught up in this thing, man. See, when they look at the Israelites, they look at the Israelites collectively. They don't look at, oh, you guys teach this, and well, these guys kind of teach that. They study that to a certain extent, but when it comes to putting a hammer down, pursuing the 1 Peter 4:17, there is no, well, let's go after this camp first, or let's go after that camp because this camp is teaching this, and well, we don't really like that, so let's go after this one. Esau, he's not looking at that, man. So when somebody, before I get that, let's go to 2 Corinthians chapter 6. When somebody offends in the ministry, it essentially affects all of us, right? 2 Corinthians chapter 6 and 3, giving no offense in anything, that the ministry be not blamed. So if you offend in one thing, guess what? The entire ministry becomes blamed, right? And it's not just your personal life that's affected by your bad decision or your bad judgment or the folly that you have wrought. That judgment that you made that you think is just about you, it affects the entire ministry. So if a brother goes out there and teaches, and a brother makes a bad judgment, and he goes out there and he does something violent, willfully, or he does something wicked, they're going to look at the entire ministry. I mean, when I say the ministry, the brothers chiefly in the camps that go out there in the highways and byways, they're going to look at that under the same umbrella. That would not be an isolated situation. Eventually it's going to spiral back in to the black Hebrew Israelites, right? Now, really, it's inevitable. A brother can be as blameless as he would like to be. It's not going to stop the prophecy of Jacob's trouble, and it's not going to stop the prophecy from all hell breaking loose. That doesn't mean that the brother says, well, it's going to happen anyway. Let me be a damn fool. No, the Lord said in Proverbs 22 and 3, the prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself, but the simple pass on and are punished. So don't give an offense in anything and you blame the entire ministry, and not only that, judgment is going to begin at the house of the Most High anyway. And the brothers that do offend in the ministry, they're going to get caught out there first too, man. Right? 1 Peter chapter 4 and 12. Beloved, thinking not strange concerning the fiery trial, which is to try you, as though some strange thing happened unto you. But rejoice, and as much as ye are partakers of Hamashiach's sufferings, that when his glory shall be revealed, ye may be glad also with exceeding joy. Right? I'm going to jump down to verse 17. For the time is come that judgment must begin at the house of the Most High. And if it first begin at us, what shall the end be of them that obey not the gospel of the Most High? And if the righteous scarcely be saved, where shall the ungodly and the sinner appear? So the righteous, they're barely going to make it out of here, man. Right? They're going to make it by the skin of their teeth, like the scriptures say, man. And when judgment is laid down on the earth, you're going to have it befall the house of God. Who's the house of the Most High? The Israelites, those that are in his truth, chiefly the men that do the work. Right? When you read Ezekiel, the 9th chapter, when the 6 death angels went through the midst of Jerusalem, slaying utterly old and young, male and women, they began at the ancient men that were before the house. Right? So the ancient men are going to get the judgment first. Right? The pastors, the teachers, the evangelists, the prophets, the apostles. That judgment is going to rain down mightily upon those brothers. So the time is coming where judgment is going to begin at the house of the Most High. And you're going to have more and more events like this transpire. Now, this is I saw this on social media earlier today. 14-year-old Bryson Muir, if I'm pronouncing his name correctly, has been found more than 2 weeks after his reported abuse and disappearance. His father, an ex-Colts player, and mother are in custody. He was found at the compound of a religious group that identifies as Hebrew Israelites. So now you have the Israelites in the news all over again, man. You had the Kyrie Irving ordeal, you had the Kanye West. There was a time when an alleged Israelite murdered his son. Right? That there was an actual thing, man. Right? Let me see if I can get that. That was an actual thing. Right? Allegedly, that was let me see if I can find that. Right? Leader of Black Hebrew Israelite sect pleads guilty to kill a 4-year-old. Right? Now this happened years and years ago, man. Years and years ago. And when it's time for them to essentially bring the hammer down on the Black Hebrew Israelites, they're going to bring out every evil report, true or not, and use that as propaganda to defame the ministry and for the public and the people to buy in to this demonic, evil, Black Hebrew terrorist organization that hates white people. You hate sodomites, right? You hate festivities and holidays, and you're an isolated extremist cult. And you're doing America a favor if you no longer exist. And if anybody asks any questions on why, this is their mind, on why we should rid the Black Hebrew Israelites. Well, look, one pled guilty to murder his son. Well, look, one of them beat their 14-year-old son half to death. Well, look, they had the shootout out there in Jersey a few years ago too, man. And these are all, whether these are agents, whether these things are actually happening, it really doesn't matter, because this is what's going to be used for them in wickedness to target the sincere men of Yahweh Bashmi Yahushua. And the men that are out there doing this work of the nation, they're not going to be caught up in this madness, man. See, a lot of these things that somebody beat their 4-year-old to death, man, or killed them, they 14, those guys are off, man. And the spirit of Yahweh Bashmi Yahushua is not working with them. Right? The elect that the Most High is going to deliver, his men that are out there on the highways and byways, they're not going to go out, for killing a 4-year-old, man. Right? Or for beating a 14-year-old to death, man. Right? Those men have a lot. Whether their lot is to be martyred or their lot is to be delivered, right? Those men have their own lot, and you can see that through the scriptures. But you see these different examples, going on in the earth, right? Let me get this precept in the book of Matthew, right? Actually, let's go to Ezra, right? I want to go to Ezra, the 4th chapter, right? Because during the time of Ezra, you had building going on and the restoration of the Israelites. And you also had crafty counsel going on as well, because sometimes, a lot of things you see fall out on YouTube or fall out in the news. Some of these things are agent provocateurs, right? You have false brethren unawares. So you have agents in camps, man. You might have an agent in WFI. We've seen In Too Deep, that stuff is real, man. If you haven't seen In Too Deep, check it out, right? Omar Epps, and we had a demon on him, man. Right? But nevertheless, you have men who work for the government, who infiltrate particular organizations. They may learn the name Yahweh. They may learn the name Yahweh Shai. They may learn certain lingo, a Shalom, Khan, Salakia, certain things, or the slang of that organization, right? Certain camps, they might say certain things. Other camps might move a certain way, and they have to study that. And they'll send these guys out there, and, they'll blend right in. So you have agent provocateurs. An agent provocateur is somebody who provokes trouble, right? Let me pull this up, right? What is an agent provocateur, right? These are the guys that always have a big idea on what they should do, and it usually tends to violence, right? Violence or something that gets somebody locked up, arrested, or put them on trial. Right? Agent provocateur is a person who is employed by the government or the police to encourage certain groups of people to break the law so that they can arrest them or make them lose public support. Agent provocateurs may seek to discredit the opposition. So you got to watch out for agent provocateurs, man. That's the brother that say, look, man, you know what? When we go to camp next time, everybody bring their gun with them, man. I think something gonna go down, right? All y'all brothers, everybody just buy a gun real quick, man. Matter of fact, I'll sell you one. He pop open his damn car, man, and he starts selling all of the brothers' guns. Man, I got these guns for the low. I know a guy, man. Then he show a picture of him and the guy at the gun range with fringes on. This alleged guy that he buy guns from. They both got fringes on, a beard, and you're not thinking nothing of it, man. And he got some illegal guns. He's selling you the guns. Now it's a damn ATF sting bust, and all of the Hebrew Israelites are arrested on possession of illegal firearms, grand larceny, and attempted murder, man. Because you got caught out there by this agent provocateur, right? So you're going to have these spirits on the earth in these last days, man. You're going to have these spirits, right? So I want to get this in Ezra, the 4th chapter. This is Ezra chapter 4 and verse 11. This is the copy of the letter that they sent unto him, even unto Artaxerxes the king, thy servants, the men on this side the river, and at such a time. Be it known unto the king that the Jews which came up from thee to us are coming to Jerusalem, building the rebellious and bad city, and have set up the walls thereof and joined the foundations. And this is slander. Right? They're building the rebellious and bad city, man. Right? Where is that at in the history, man? When we were a rebellious and bad city, right? So these are slanders. They have labeled them the rebellious and bad city as they build. As we build up the walls and join the foundations, chiefly the cornerstone, Yahweh Shai, and the foundation, which are the apostles and prophets, they are writing these letters, having councils, secret organizations, and they're slandering the ministry. And they call us, instead of the rebellious and bad city, they call us the Black Hebrew Israelites, Black identity extremists, domestic terrorists, a hate group. That's nothing new, man. What they do today is what they have always done 2,500 years ago, and even beyond that. Right? Verse 13. Be it known now unto the king that if this city be builded and the wall set up again, then will they not pay toll, tribute, and custom, and so thou shalt damage the revenue of the king. So they said if they set up, they're not going to pay taxes, they're not going to pay any tribute, and you're going to lose your entire kingdom. right? This is the slander that these wicked men did to try to hinder the building that Ezra, Joshua, Zerubbabel, right? When Nehemiah came on the scene, that they were all doing. Verse 15. Now, because we have maintenance from the king's palace, and it was not meet for us to see the king's dishonor, therefore have we sent and certified the king, that search may be made in the book of the records of thy fathers. So shalt thou find in the book of the records, and know that this city is a rebellious city and hurtful unto kings and provinces, and they have moved with sedition within the same old time for which cause this city was destroyed. So they have charged the Israelites with sedition. And we always go into this word sedition, right? Let's go into it right here, man. They say that these men have moved with sedition. What is sedition? Revolt. The black Hebrew Israelites move with sedition. They despise the government. They don't follow the laws of the government. They don't accept the customs of America. They have their own laws, their own statutes, their own commandments. They have their own king. They're their own nation. They have their own holy days. They're not buying on your Christmas. They're damaging your revenue, man. They're not buying on your Valentine's Day. You're losing billions of dollars for every Israelite that comes out of the world and comes to Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. Because you're not spending money on the customs that you did in time past, man. You're not engaging in the festivities. So they're writing this letter to cause sedition between the king and Israel. They charged the Apostle Paul with sedition, man. Right? So let's go back to this in Ezra, the 4th chapter. They charge Yahushua with sedition. And they're going to charge us with sedition, man. I'm going to hold this. I'm going to go to Matthew, the 10th chapter. Right? Let's go to Matthew chapter 10 and verse number 25. Right? Matthew 10 and 25. I'll start at 24. The disciple is not above his master, nor the servant above his Lord. It is enough for the disciple that he be as his master, and the servant as his Lord. If they have called the master of the house Beelzebub, which is Lord of the flies, how much more, or prince of the devils, right? How much more shall they call them of his own household? So it is enough for the disciple to be as his master, not just doing righteous works, the will of the Most High, healing the blind, raising the dead, giving hearing to the deaf. That's what the disciple does, that his master also did. But on the left-hand side, the persecution has to come. The defamation of character has to come. The false accusations have to come. The being delivered up has to come. That's also what the disciple has to go through, because his master went through these things as well. And if they told Yahweh, if they charge Yahushua with persecution, what do you think that, or with sedition, what do you think they're going to do with us, man? If they born false witness on Yahushua, they're going to bear false witness on us. A false flag is really just a major false witness attack. That's all it is. It is a extreme high level demonic false witness. That's what a false flag is. And it's full of false witnesses to raise an evil report to fit the agenda of a particular government or a kingdom or sovereignty. And if they called the master of the house Beelzebub, how much more shall they call them of his own household? So we're going to get part of that jammed up too, man. We're going to be part of this thing. This isn't just, okay, I'm an Israelite and I eat burgers and French fries, and I just wear my fringes and I'm on social media and I like that story and I put that on. No, times draw nigh when real life persecution is going to befall us. You know, and as you have more and more accounts, and I'm actually going to this story, as you have more and more accounts, and really this is of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. You know, and the Most High says, shall the trumpet be blown in the city? Let's get that precept in Amos 3 and 6. See, a lot of brothers, you might get mad at these events. And there are going to be more and more events. Some events, they may actually put brothers that you know in the ministry and use them and say that this brother did this, or this elder, or this man of renown, he committed a particular crime and the brother never did it. You know? So it's not just going to be little random events. Eventually, they're going to go after, men of renown, for lack of better terms. Right? This is Amos, and brothers can't be surprised when these things happen. And you can't be the quick to blame. Yeah, I knew that brother was wicked. All right, why did he do that? You have to be mindful as times draw nigh that they're going to bring false charges on a lot of different men and say men. And man, this technology is crazy now, man. I saw it what they do now with these post game events with these athletes. They could, with the deep fakes, they could take their voice, make their mouth actually say particular words, and they never said it, man. They never said these things, but they have the technology to frame you to act as if you said something, to take your audio, make your mouth move according to the audio, and really there's nothing you can do about it. So if they want to take a clip of you saying that you're going to commit some massive crime or do something wicked, they'll do that, man. They'll take a clip here from that footage, a clip here from that footage, a clip here from that footage, and they'll chop it and mix it up. And then brothers will watch, wow, that brother said that. And I got a lot of brothers getting mad, man, not knowing the prophecies that have to be fulfilled. Amos chapter 3 and verse 6. Shall a trumpet be blown in the city, and the people not be afraid? Shall there be evil in the city, and Yahweh hath not done it? So any evil, any persecution, any defamation of character, any slander, any evil report is done by Yahweh anyway. And he's using the nations for his own purpose and agenda, that prophecy may be fulfilled. So you can't get emotional a lot about what these matters are, man. You have to have a spiritual mind to assess the prophecies and the judgments from on high, that these things have to happen, that the scriptures must be fulfilled. How many times do you read where it says that the scripture must be fulfilled? Let's actually just type that, man. Right? We'll just say must. Right? The scripture must be fulfilled. Right? Let's get this one. And it's written other ways, as it is written, must be fulfilled. Right? Acts chapter 1 and 16. Men and brethren, this scripture must needs have been fulfilled. What scriptures, man? Matthew the 10th chapter, Matthew the 24th chapter, 2nd Ezra the 15th chapter, 2nd Ezra the 16th chapter. They should be like madmen. Revelation chapter 12, 17. Those things must needs have been fulfilled. So who's controlling it all? The Most High. Right? It reads, men and brethren, this scripture must needs have been fulfilled. When the Holy Spirit by the mouth of David spake before concerning Judas, which was guide to them that took Yahushua. Right? And that's in Psalms chapter 109, that it was fulfilled what would happen to Judas, how he would lose his office and be replaced by the Mattathias, right? The apostle. So these things happen, man. Things have to go down, and you can't avoid it. So they're going to use these reports, right? I'm trying to get the audio of this. All right, let me get the audio of this, and then I'll actually go through the article through the spirit and power of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, right? So bear with me. So let's play this audio. Now, I haven't heard this before, but it's 7 minutes. I'm not going to play all 7 minutes, obviously, but we may kind of see what's going on.
From Indiana's #1 news source, this is Fox 59 News at 6.
Well, our top...
And this is all fair use, right?
Story here tonight at 6. A young boy considered missing for more than 2 weeks has been found safe. and his parents, including a former Colts player, are now in jail.
Daniel and Kristen Muir walked out of court after a judge denied them bond during their initial hearing today.
Now, we have team coverage here on this story, from the charges that the couple faces to our exclusive footage of this morning's raid, to a look at the group behind the compound where he was found.
Up first, we turn to our Michael Van Scoik with a look at the...
So they're going to look at the group behind, or the group that this man and his woman was in. Now, according to the propaganda and sorcery and slander of the so-called white man, they belong to a black Hebrew Israelite organization, right? They belong to a black Hebrew, and a lot of brothers, man, I don't affiliate with this camp. We're not affiliated with them. Well, that they don't care what you have to say, man. You know, that has nothing to do with anything, right? The Most High, through prophecy, he has affiliated you with all other camps. Because when the Jacob's trouble goes down, you're going to be affiliated with all other camps. So, you know, a brother putting out there in this video, we don't associate with them. Well, yeah, you do, man. If you know the prophecies, you do. Right? You're saying that for your members, or you're saying that for the save face or public perception, and whatever the case may be. But last time I checked, it's called Jacob's trouble. Man. Who's Jacob? Israel and his knowledge. You know? So everybody's affiliated, man. You can say kind of what you want to say. Now, I get it to a certain extent. The brother doesn't want these charges laid on him. I get that. You know, but at the end of the day, it's called Jacob's trouble. Right? So let's play this.
Muir's court appearance just this afternoon. Mike.
This afternoon, the judge denied bond for former Indianapolis Colt Daniel Muir and his wife, Kristen Muir, during their initial hearing here at the Cass County Courthouse. Judge Stephen Kitts says the two are considered a flight risk. Now, during that hearing...
Call them a flight risk, right? What is a flight risk? Let's pull this up. They call them, what is a flight risk in court? Right? A flight risk is a person that the court believes will not come to court on their scheduled trial date. Right? So they kind of keep you in there. The court may determine that someone is a flight risk. For example, they have had a failure to appear in their record in the past. See that? So you got a brother might be a flight risk, man. The black Hebrew Israelites, according to them, right? This couple, flight risk.
You could see Daniel Muir was visibly upset by this decision. He was audibly also heard making remarks of frustration to his attorneys. Daniel is charged with domestic battery and obstruction of justice. Kristen is also charged with obstruction of justice. Defense attorneys say Kristen is a nursing mother and asked the judge for the possibility of any GPS monitoring systems from the court. Judge Stephen Kitts says his decision to deny bond has been based on the couple's failure to comply with anything over the past 2 weeks. Daniel Muir's defense attorneys did briefly speak to us on camera, telling us he's shocked by the judge's decision on the bond.
The Muir family, they've been improperly targeted, and they're not guilty of any abuse or illegal activity.
Right. Now, they say they beat their son. Now, you know, I don't know. I wasn't there. Only Yahweh, Bashman Rashai, knoweth, and the holy angels that he has sent down.
Muir walked out of court after a judge.
To behold the evil and the good. Only the Most High know. They say he abused them. Hey, man. Hey, look, man. I don't know what happened. I wasn't there. But they could embellish these charges on them to defame the Hebrew Israelites, or these guys, you know, they could have just went off. But we don't know, right? But, you know, Jake get beat. I used to get beat, man. You know, what beat? Hey, it happens, man. Now, they say this guy looked like he got beat half to death, or he had a busted lip. I think that's what they said. But guess what? We didn't see it. I didn't see it. I don't know what the pictures are, you know? So there's a lot. This is a sticky situation right here. And this could just be an outright false charge on these guys, man. It could just be an outright, just a false, pure accusation. So as time, you know, as time progresses, you know, everything's going to come to light. And the Most High, he's the judge at the end of the day anyway, right? So let's go into this. And the Lord said, you have to hear the cause of the small and the great. So you have to hear the cause of the parents. You have to hear the cause of the state prosecution, you know, and it really has to be done before the judges of Israel, man, not before the so-called white man and his wicked court system, because he's not the one that knows the law. And the Lord said, you could beat your son on the sides, man. It says he's not going to die in the scriptures. So, but again, I don't know the extent of what happened, but, you know.
Jail. They were brought here this morning after police raided their property in Logansport. We were the only station there to capture police as they conducted that search. This is video we shot exclusively Wednesday morning showing state police covering one entrance to this remote, large Logansport property, marked with signs saying, "Welcome to Straightway, Indiana. Go."
So that's Straightway, right? Straightway Ministries, if I'm not mistaken. The brother can correct me if I'm wrong. With so-called Pastor Dow, right? Now, Goshen, we know Goshen was the land that Joseph set up for Reuben, Simeon, Levi, Asher, Issachar, and the rest of his brothers, and Jacob. When the 70 souls came into the land of Egypt, they actually set that land up, which was pretty much a safe haven for the Israelites in a foreign land, and it was called Goshen. So hence the name Goshen, right? But again, it's a Straightway, Indiana.
Goshen, a religious group headquartered in Tennessee. Law enforcement had rifles at the ready as an armored IMPD SWAT vehicle sat inside the fence. Multiple SWAT teams, canines, and a bomb squad began a raid.
They brought a bomb squad, man. They brought a bomb squad to the Hebrew Israelites. Now, they could have planted a bomb in there, man. So we found bombs there. And in those days, may draw nigh too, man. Right, let me get this precept. I don't believe it's going to show on the screen, but let me get this in Psalms. Right? This is Psalms chapter 35 and verse 11. False witnesses did rise up. They laid to my charge things that I knew not. They rewarded me evil for good to the spoiling of my soul. So David said false witnesses did rise up. They laid to my charge things that I knew not. And these things are going to happen, man. They're going to lay to our charge things we didn't know, right? They're going to bring up matters that we had nothing to do with, man. They may edit footage and videos and clips and take your words and, you know, say that you said something. A lot of these videos too, they have the subtitles. And the subtitles, they never link up to what you actually saying in the video, man. Maybe 20% of what you say is actually on that subtitle. But they could be typing in stuff wrong, can saying that you're saying certain things. And, you know, we know how this devil gets, man. Right? He is the forger of lies. He is the father of lies. Another quick precept. Again, it's not going to show up on the screen, but this is Ecclesiasticus, the 26th chapter. Right? Let's go to Sirach chapter 26 and verse 5. It reads, there be three things that mine heart feareth, and the fourth I was sore afraid. The slander of a city. Don't they slander Jerusalem? Right? See, it's written that mine heart feareth it, because you don't know the outcome that comes with slander. You have to hurry up and rush to defend your name. By the time you try to defend and clear your name, the slander has spread so far abroad that people got to move. You know, people got to delete their accounts. They have to leave their jobs. They have to, you know, uproot their entire family based off of slander. Right? If slander goes on so long behind your back and everybody gets wind of it, look what happened to Absalom and David, man. David stole the hearts of the people, and he essentially was slandering David. Oh, if I was judging the land. Right? And we read this slander in Ezra, the 4th chapter. They said this is the rebellious and bad city. So these are things that even righteous men, they look at and know that it's going to it can change their life, man. Right? So it reads the slander of a city, the gathering together of an unruly multitude, like the police, man. That's a gathering together of an unruly multitude. The bomb squad showing up. Right? The damn SWAT team showing up, ATF showing up, FBI showing up. That's an unruly multitude at your local camp, your house, knocking at your door, asking about your social media posts, man. They do that. What do you mean America's Babylon the Great? Imagine you wake up in the middle of the night and you got 2 FBI agents who flash a quick badge, fold it back up, and say, well, what did you mean about Revelation 18 and 21? I'm going to take you in for questioning. Now you can say, look, I'm with my family. Look, I got to work. It's in the scripture. And they don't want to hear that, man. Put your hands behind your back when they ask you about questioning. Then they play a clip of you kind of saying things that you never said before. So that's the gathering together of an unruly multitude. It reads, and a false accusation. All these are worse than death. A false accusation. It could be a false flag attack. It could be a false witness, a false accusation. All these things are worse than death. Because imagine living your whole life. Look at these brothers in prison, man. You got brothers, they lost their family. Man, I saw this video, this mother lied to her daughters and said that the father molested them when they were younger. That was a false accusation. And then she came out and said, yeah, I lied, it is what it is. Now that brother, he could never grow up with his daughters, man. He lost his family, that relationship, that bond, the ability to see them grow up. And he's probably on child support, man. He probably lost hundreds and thousands of dollars. He had probably had to register as a well-known sex offender. He had to check in wherever city he had to go to, man. His name was on a bulletin board. People probably saw him and smacked him around a little bit, man. You're the guy that damn molested your children. Slapped him around. His mother disowned him. Hey, and brother might rather be dead than to live with a false accusation. He might be doing years in prison for years and years for a crime he never committed. So this is a mean precept, and it shows that the psychological terror that could befall a man when these charges are laid up against him. So let's go back to this video, right? Salakia, where was we at? All right, let's play this.
We shot exclusively Wednesday morning, showing state police covering one entrance to this remote, large Logansport property, marked with signs saying, "Welcome to Straightway, Indiana, Goshen," a religious group headquartered in Tennessee. Law enforcement had rifles at the ready as an armored IMPD SWAT vehicle sat inside the fence.
And this could have got ugly, man. Right? This could have got ugly. They could have put an agent in there and had him start shooting off. It could have been a shootout. The Black Hebrew Israelites get into a shootout with the Indiana State Police and the Sheriff Department. And this thing could have got real ugly, man. And the Most High kind of quelled the situation down. Hey, but we know how these devils get.
Multiple SWAT teams, canines, and a bomb squad began a raid of the homestead-like property with multiple homes this morning at 6 o'clock. Just minutes into the operation, law enforcement found Bryson Muir, a teen missing since June 16th, safe.
And ultimately, after 3 weeks of, reaching out, he was found, located. So definitely win in our books.
We saw this IMPD SWAT vehicle leaving the property through the gate that appeared to be damaged after their entrance. An officer inside the vehicle coming over the loudspeaker to thank the people inside the property for their cooperation. ISP Sergeant Stephen Glass says a lot of planning went into the raid executed before the sun came up, especially since
So they did a lot of planning to raid that before the sun came up. What time did they go against Yahushua, man? They came against Yahushua around midnight, or a little after midnight, actually, before the sun came up. So they came against him with torches and lances, man, and staves. And they tried to catch him, what they call lacking. Tried to catch him while they were asleep. So they just said they did this raid before the sun came up, around damn 6 in the morning, man. When everybody's asleep and they want to catch you with the element of surprise.
They didn't know how the Muirs and others on the property would react.
There was some question whether or not they would be cooperative or not. However, it went smoothly for the most part.
The Muirs property is just off US Highway 24 in Logansport. Bryson's parents, Daniel and Kristen Muir, left in handcuffs. They're pictured here in their mugshots, taken early this morning at the Cass County Jail.
Right now, I want to go a little into this. So you kind of know what happened, right? What I'm going to do is I'm going to go a little into the article, right? And then I'm going to pull up something else through the spirit of poverty, how about Shemiyah, right? So again, these things are real, man, right? You know, the Lord said in the book of Matthew, right? Let's go to Matthew chapter 24 and verse number 24, right? It reads, there shall arise false Christs and false prophets, and shall show great signs and wonders, and so much that if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect. So these devils, they're going to have signs and wonders, man, to play on the minds of the people, and they're going to use this as part of their account on why they're justified to destroy the ministry and to lock up the black Hebrew Israelites. This is part of their great signs and wonders, right? Because they're going to bring a whole lot of folly, right? And a whole lot of damn truth mixed with lies, and lies mixed with truth, and just bring up a massive false report against the men of the Lord, man. Right? And Israel, the black Hebrew Israelites are known based off of recent events in the eyes of the media and in the eyes of the public perception as being what? A hate group. You hate white people. Like I said, you're racist, you're a bigot, you're prejudiced, you're in the court. And those same labels and terminology was used in time past against the Israelites. Man, you had massive persecutions during the time of the Roman Empire. You had the Neronian persecution of so-called Nero. You had the Diocletian persecution, right? You had many persecutions, man, where the Israelites were delivered up, right? Let's go to the book of Hebrews, the 10th chapter, right? Let's go to Hebrews chapter 10 and verse 32. Hebrews chapter 10 and 32. But call to remembrance the former days, in which after ye were illuminated, ye endured a great fight of afflictions. So the brothers that the apostles are writing to, he's saying, remember the time when you had to go through hell, right? Endured a great fight of afflictions. And we're going to have to endure a great fight of afflictions. Right, when we go through this fight of Jacob's trouble, this hour of temptation at the end of the world is a great fight of afflictions that's going to draw nigh into us. Verse 33, partly whilst ye were made a gazing stock, both by reproaches and afflictions, and partly whilst ye became companions of them that were so used. And this is going to happen to us. We're going to be made a gazing stock, both by reproaches and afflictions. And we're going to become companions to those that are used to going through that, man. Right? We're going to get used to these titles of defamation and a terrorist and all of this madness, man. And the days draw nigh when we will be made a public gazing stock. Let's go into this word gazing stock. Right? Now, the word gazing stock, it says, Salakia, theatrizo. Theatrizo, and it means what? To bring upon the stage, to set forth as a spectacle, expose to contempt. We're going to be exposed to contempt, man. Hey, when you're on stage, all eyes are on you. The spotlight is on you. They're going to bring us up on stage, man. So you know who's on stage right now? Joe Biden and Donald Trump. They're on stage, right? And everybody's watching the debate. Is Biden going to pull out the election? Did Donald Trump win? They're on stage right now. See, when you go to theater or you have these matches, you have the main event, right? And then you have the I can't think of the technical term, but you got the earlier events. And people, they really come to the main event. I forgot what it's called in boxing or fighting. You got the main card, and then you got the undercard. I think that's what it's called, right? I could be wrong, but the point is, what's on stage now is not the main event. This is just a preliminary, man. When people kind of get in, they gather on their popcorn, they still at the concession stand, and, you know, can I get that? I'm on an Airhead and a box of Twizzlers. And right now, that's what's going on right now. When they get in their seats and the lights dim, that's when the Israelites are going to be on stage, man. And all of the evil reports are going to be brought upon us, and we're going to be a gazing stock. And we're going to be exposed to contempt, to be made a spectacle. Right? So let's go into that word. Here's from the Greek lexicon. To bring upon a stage, to set forth as a spectacle, exposed to contempt, being made a gazing stock. All right. So again, the days draw nigh, and that's the time. There's only one time this word is used in the New Testament, and it's used against the Israelites to bring them on a world stage, man. They say that the world is a stage and everybody's an actor. All these crisis events, all these elections, the drama with the celebrities, the rap beef, Kendrick Lamar and Drake, they was just on stage, man. And I'm not talking about an actual concert that they did. But the main event is about to go down. And you had these things happen in time past. We're going to go into that. But let's finish this in Hebrews chapter 10. Right? Hebrews chapter 10. I'm going to read 33 again. Partly, whilst ye were made a gazing stock, both by reproaches and afflictions, and partly, whilst ye became companions of them that were so used. For ye had compassion of me in my bonds, and took joyfully the spoiling of your goods, knowing in yourselves that ye have in heaven a better and an enduring substance. So during the time that this epistle was written, what was happening to the Jews? They were getting their houses robbed by the Romans and by other wicked nations due to the amount of hell that Ben and his truth was causing. And they took that joyfully, man. When they were raiding the houses and identifying and targeting those who believed in Yahushua. They trusted in Yahushua that those worldly possessions didn't matter. They trusted in Yahushua that, hey, look, I'll count that but dung, knowing that my true treasure lies in Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. Don't think this is a one-time event. We read in Matthew chapter 10 that it is enough for the disciple to be as his master. So in time past, if they spoiled our goods, they're going to do that all over again. That's what's written in 2nd Ezra, the 16th chapter. Right? Let's get that. And 2nd Ezra. Right? Let's go to 2nd Ezra, the 16th chapter. Right? 2nd Ezra, chapter 16. And this is a heavy account right here. 2nd Ezra, chapter 16 and verse 68. For behold, the burning wrath of a great multitude is kindled over you, and they shall take away certain of you and feed you, being idle with things offered unto idols. So you're going to be forced to eat things offered unto idols. Read 2nd Maccabees 6. Read 2nd Maccabees 7, man. What did they do to Eleazar, the 7 brothers and their mother? They constrained them, they tied them up, they beat them, they tortured them, and they forced them, or so they thought, to eat things sacrificed unto idols. The Lord said that's going to happen all over again, man. You know, you're going to be forced to eat things offered unto the gods that the so-called white man serves, man. Rather, he brings out his statue of Baphomet, or, you know, white Jesus, or his false gods, or whatever he has set up, man. And time to come, bow down to Satan, denounce Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, say hell, Shaitan and all these names. And then you're going to have to eat of this meal, this covenant meal of the New World Order, as a partaker of their wicked religious festivities. And if you eat those things, you have essentially denounced this truth. And there's really no going back from that. This is going to make and break a lot of Israelites, man. Let's go to Revelation chapter 3. That's going to be a make or break, man. Right? Let's go to Revelation chapter 3 and verse 10. Right? It reads, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. So the hour of temptation is coming. It's not a time period of 60 minutes. It is a brief time where you are going to be in straits, and your integrity is going to be tested. Your willpower to be righteous is going to be tested. You're going to have to sacrifice your life. You're going to have to sacrifice the willingness to hold on to your family, to money, to your job, to worldly possessions. You're going to have to make sacrifices, man. And again, even if you have to put your life on the line, eat this food sacrificing to these idols, man. Denounce the Most High. And then a lot of brothers, God forbid, are going to get weak, man. I don't know what to do. I got to think about it. Give me 10 minutes, Esau. Right? Give me 10 minutes and let me think about it. Esau said, yeah, why don't you think about it? Right? Well, you know what? I am under grace. The Lord will have mercy. Lord, have mercy on me. Then they shove the damn food down your throat and say, shut up. Right? And then you denounce the Most High with a mouthful of pork in your mouth. Denounce the Most High. And then you got damn pork in your mouth and pork juice, and you just denounce the Lord, man. Then the angel come down and cut you in half. Right? So these things are written, man. Right? They're going to take away certain of you. Who's the you? Us. When did they do that raid at the ministry? They did it before the sun came up, huh? Like they came against Yahweh Shai in the middle of the night. And they're going to feed you being idle, meaning being constrained with things offered unto idols. Let's look this verse up in another translation. Right? 2nd Ezra 16:68. Right? Is that what I want? I believe. What was that? Slakia 68. Right? And we've read this before. A vast mob. Hold on, let's get it. A vast mob is ready now to descend on you and devour you like flames. They will drag off some of you and force you to eat pagan sacrifices. So this is a future prophecy, right? This is a future prophecy, and that's going to test if you really are down with Yahweh Basham Shai, or you was faking it, man. Were you in this thing for money? Were you in this thing, for women? Was you in this thing, was it all talk? Right? And the Lord said, nevertheless, when the Son of Man cometh, shall he find faith on the earth? Now, the exact details of these pagan sacrifices are not mentioned, but the prophecy says they will be done. Now, we don't know, rather Esau has it in his FEMA camps, his concentration camps, and he sets these things up. The Lord said he requires that which is past. And Ecclesiastes 3:15. And there are many ways that this devil is going to tempt you, man, and test you. See, a lot of brothers will, the Lord said, eat that which is sold in shambles, eat, asking no questions for conscience sake. That is not applicable in this context, man. Well, the Lord said, if you be bidden to a feast, go eat. Now we know that the idol is nothing, right? Now, if that's your mentality, that's why that's such a touchy subject, and we brothers still struggle with that, knowing what the Apostle Paul was saying in the context and where you should be. Because what did the Lord say in Revelation, the 2nd chapter? Right? Let's go to the previous chapter. Right? Then I want to kind of pull up something else, right? Revelation chapter 2 and verse 20. Let's see where I want. Right? Here it is, like 2 and 20. Revelation 2:20. Notwithstanding, I have a few things against thee, because thou sufferest that woman Jezebel, which calleth herself a prophetess, to teach and to seduce my servants to commit fornication and to eat things sacrificed to idols. And I gave her space to repent of her fornication, and she repented not. Behold, I will cast her into a bed, and them that commit adultery with her into great tribulation, except they repent of their deeds. Right? So when it's all said and done, a brother should be built up on the level where he's not eating food sacrificed to idols. See, a lot of the men that Paul talked to, they were in an early Gentile way of life, you know, and he was drawing them to perfection. The goal was to present every man perfect, you know. So a brother should get to the point where his conscience convicts him when he's eating damn Christmas dinner or Thanksgiving, you know. And now he's at the point where, hey, look, man, I'm not eating food sacrificed to idols. Like Daniel, Judith, Esther, a lot of our forefathers and foremothers, man. Right? They were at that point. Because this devil, you better get to that point now. Because if you get weak, you're gonna get caught out there when they try to force you to eat food sacrificed to idols. Right? Let's read verse 69. And they actually, I want to go back. Right? So the Lord said they're going to drag off certain of us, Salakia. Right? Verse 69. It reads, if you give in to them, they will ridicule you, mock you, and humiliate you. Right? And that's what's going to go down. These persecutions have happened before, and they will happen again. Right? They have happened before, and it will happen again. Here's one persecution. This is called the Decian persecution or Decian persecution, right? So you had the persecution during the time of Nero. You had the persecution that happened during the time of Diocletian, the Roman Emperor Decius. You had a lot of different persecutions in time past, right? And time passed. Now, I actually want to start off. I had the Neronian. Let's pull up the Neronian persecution, right? And I'm not going to go too in depth into this, but this was around 54 AD, right, to 68 AD. Persecutions and Christians during the Roman Empire. And this is Rome all over again. America is Rome all over again. We just touched on that on the Monday Night Fire. All right. America was actually created to be a new Rome. Right? When they put this city together, Washington, D.C., when they put America together, they literally based it off of how Rome was. Now, Christians were persecuted. I'm not going to read this whole thing, right? It reads Christians, which are Israelites that believed in Yahushua, were persecuted throughout the Roman Empire, beginning in the 1st century AD and ending in the 4th century. Originally a polytheistic empire in the traditions of Roman paganism and the Hellenistic religion, as Christianity spread throughout the empire, just like the truth is spreading. Right? Everybody, their mother pretty much know about this truth, or they heard about it. Even if you're not in the truth, you heard about it. You bumped into somebody at the grocery store. Your coworker had the fringes on. Your mother and your cousin, everybody told you about it. So the same way that the truth was spreading throughout ancient Rome, it's spreading all over again. Let me get a quick precept on that. Let's go to the book of Acts. Right? Let's go to Acts, the 17th chapter. Right? Let's go to Acts, the 17th chapter. This is Acts chapter 17. And I'm going to start at verse 7. Right? Acts 17 and 7. whom Jason hath received. So they beat upon Jason's door. They caused the riot. Then they brought Jason out, and they said, I'm gonna start at verse 6. This whole thing is good. And when they found them not, they drew Jason and certain brethren unto the rulers of the city, crying, these that have turned the world upside down are come hither also. So the Jews were known for turning the world upside down. The men of Yahweh was shot. Paul, Silas, Silvanus, Luke that he rode with, Mark, Barnabas at the time. They were turning the world upside down. Right now, we're turning the world upside down. Videos are going viral. Now, I'm not talking about WFI. I'm talking about brothers that do this work, period, in sincerity and in truth. Man. You have camps all over the world. Again, everybody and their mother knows about the Israelites. You have brothers on TV, brothers on talk shows, brothers out there every week on the highways and byways. You have brothers confounding world-renowned scholars and debates. So the world is essentially being turned upside down. And it's not a damn thing anybody can do about it. Right? Because if it be the Most High, you can't overthrow it, lest happily it be found even to fight against the Most High. You don't want to fight against the Most High because the Lord is going to fight for us and we're going to hold our peace. Right? Now, this is verse 7. Whom Jason hath received, and these all do contrary to the decrees of Caesar, saying that there is another king, one Yahweh. See that? And these are the charges they're going to bring upon us, that we all do things contrary to the decrees of Caesar. See, Caesar says December 25th, celebrate Christmas. Caesar says that you have to accept homosexuals for being homosexuals. Caesar says that you can't scold the man that's labeling himself a minor attracted person. Caesar says that you have to vote. Hey, Caesar said a lot of damn things, man. The Lord said that there are men documented that whatever Caesar say, these men are going to do contrary. They're going to do the opposite, man. They're going to keep the Passover. They're going to follow the laws and the commandments. They're not going to intermingle amongst the other nations. And they're going to say there's another king, man. There's another leader outside of your president, man. There's another leader outside of your vice president. There's another king. Hey, his name's Yahweh. So that's where you get treason that's going to come into play, sedition, and all types of false accusations, man. Right? Let's go to Acts 16. And I want to go back to that article with Nero, right? Acts 16 and verse 20. And brought them to the magistrates, saying, these men being Jews do exceedingly trouble our city. And the brothers that are Jews are troubling these cities, man. I mean, these Edomites can't even enjoy their Saturdays, man. They want to go out and eat ice cream and popcorn and walk the harbor, man. They want to have family time. They have long, stressful 9 to 5s, man. You got couples out there trying to rekindle their flame in their marriage, man. Like I said, you got Edomite families, or you got what they call them, tourists out there. You got a lot of people that just want to enjoy life. You got people that want to walk and kind of see what's going on, and they want to have a great Saturday, man. They want to see the Bubba Gump shrimp, right? I'm talking about the harbor, right? They want to see the attractions and the ships that are out there. They want to try the different candy spots, and they want to see the people dance and do the backflips and the trumpet player, and they want to see the damn shop set up in the stores, and they want to have a great Saturday. There's only one damn problem, man. There's only one problem. Eventually, you're going to run across that problem, man. And that problem is going to be the light of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, the servants of the Most High. And your day is going to get ruined, man. Your days of sin, sodomy, and freakism are going to get corrected, man. And if you say we troubling you with that, then yeah, we troubling you with that, man. And he said Elijah troubled the city, man. You know, because all we do is rebuke and get on these wicked cities. Yahushua traveled and he upbraided the cities, man. Where his great works, let me get that in Matthew the 11th chapter. Didn't Yahushua trouble cities, man? Where his great works wasn't believed at? Capernaum and all these different cities, man. Right? Let's go to that. This is Matthew chapter 11 and verse 20. Then began he to upbraid the cities, wherein most of his mighty works were done, because they repented not. So Yahushua start rebuking the cities, man. You know, he rebuked all of the cities that didn't repent and told them those cities are going to be destroyed, man. Why are they acting like the Israelites out there in the cities are so full of evil and madness? Well, if your beloved Jesus Christ was on the earth, he would do the same thing that we're doing, man. He was out there yelling at the cities, you know, out there shaking their hand. He wasn't out there just holding all of the kids and, oh, hey, how you doing? I love you. I love you. Oh, look. No, man. You know? So the apostles, they troubled the city. Acts 16 and 21. And teach customs which are not lawful for us to receive, neither to observe, being Romans. Right? And these are the customs of the law that they were being taught by the apostles. Right? They said, we're Americans. We don't want to hear that. They're eating pork. They're keeping the Passover. Right? They're keeping the Shabbat. That Leviticus 18:22, Leviticus 20 and 13. We don't want to hear that. That's not lawful for us to receive. We have Pride Month. We have our laws. So they, you know, all hell was breaking loose out there. So again, one of those persecutions happened, man, under Nero. So let me read this again. As Christianity spread throughout the empire, it came into ideological conflict with the imperial cult of ancient Rome. Pagan practices, such as making sacrifices to the deified emperors or the other gods, were abhorrent to Christians as their beliefs prohibited idolatry. The state and other members of civic society punished Christians for treason. You see that? And that's what's going to happen. They're going to punish us for treason. What is treason? For those that may not know, right? Treason. Crime of betraying one's country, especially by attempting to kill a sovereign or overthrow the government. Yeah, you keep saying Babylon the Great, thus with violence. Should that great city Babylon be thrown down and shall be found no more at all? Well, what are you saying? Well, you're saying that this government is going to be overthrown. When you read Daniel, the 2nd chapter, you're saying that this government is going to be overthrown. Isaiah, the 9th chapter, this government is going to be overthrown. When you prophesy Isaiah, the 13th chapter, you're saying that Jeremiah 50, Jeremiah 51, and many other chapters, you're saying that Babylon the Great, America, is going to be overthrown. Don't you know if you go out there and you keep saying that, they can charge you with treason? That's why a lot of brothers don't like to go out. They just gotta go out there and just mind your tongue and don't read that one, right? Don't read the book of Revelation. Don't read Psalms 137 and 7 on down. Don't just go out there and just teach a John, the 3rd chapter, verse 3, right? No, man. We're not going to hold our tongue. Yahushua is going to overthrow this government. The Most High is, man. And he's going to set up his kingdom. Let's get that in Daniel, the 7th chapter, man. Right? Let's go to Daniel chapter 7. I'm going to read verse 27. Right? So it's inevitable. Daniel 7 and 27. And the kingdom and dominion and the greatness of the kingdom under the whole heaven shall be given to the people of the saints of the Most High, whose kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and all dominions, meaning all governments, shall serve and obey him. So he's going to overthrow those governments, and everybody's going to bow down to Yahushua. right? That's plain. That is plain. So let's go back to this, right? Let's go back to this. So the state and other members of civic society punish Christians for treason, various rumored crimes, illegal assembly, and these days are going to come now. See, you got rumored crimes. You beat your son to death. You had a shootout in Jersey. That's a rumored crime. Nobody really proved and verified that, man. They said that they stabbed somebody stabbed the old Edomite man at the synagogue. You know, and there's a lot of different accounts and charges that they tried to bring on the men of the Lord. And for introducing an alien cult that led to Roman apostasy, meaning you're teaching people not to follow the American way. Anytime that you teach repentance, you're teaching someone to come out of the Roman way, right? Roman apostasy is happening, man. What is apostasy? Apostasy is when you fall away from a particular religion or a particular doctrine, or you abandon it, right? Apostasy is the formal disaffiliation from, abandonment of, or renunciation of a religion by a person, right? So when you have a Roman apostasy, you say, I repent. I am no longer a black man. I am no longer a Negro. I am no longer an African-American man, a Hispanic man, or a Native American man. I'm no longer Blackfoot Indian, Cherokee, Mexican, El Salvadorian. I do not follow Christmas, Valentine's Day, Father's Day, Mother's Day. Repentance is Roman apostasy. You know, let's get another precept on that, right? Let's go to Revelation chapter 18, right? Revelation chapter 18 and verse 4, the classic. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues. So again, they will call this treason, American apostasy, sedition. Let's go back to this, right? It reads, so let me get straight to the point. The first localized Neronian persecution occurred under Emperor Nero, right? In Rome. A more general persecution occurred during the reign of Marcus Aurelius. Then you have more persecutions. I'm not going to read this whole thing, but you have many persecutions from different emperors. One of them that I want to touch on is the Decian persecution, right? So it reads, the Decian persecution of Christians occurred in 250 AD under the Roman Emperor Decius. He had issued an edict, meaning a law, ordering everyone in the empire to perform a sacrifice to the Roman gods and to the well-being of the emperor. So this is similar to Daniel, the 3rd chapter. When you read Daniel, the 3rd chapter, you read about Hananiah, Azariah, and Mishael. And at what sound, let me actually get the precept, right? At what sound you hear the sackbut, the psaltery, the harp, the dulcimer, and all kinds of music, ye bow down, right? This is Daniel chapter 3 and verse 5. I'll start at 4. Then the herald cried aloud, to you it is commanded, O people, nations, and languages. And this is going to happen all over again. That at what time you hear the sound of the cornet, flute, harp, sackbut, psaltery, dulcimer, and all kinds of music, ye fall down and worship the golden image that Nebuchadnezzar, the king, had set up. So people are going to, right now, they're worshiping the spiritual image, the image of the beast. That the false prophet said we should make an image to the beast that had the wound by the sword and did live. So instead of people bowing down to a physical statue that was created in the 6th century, they're bowing down to a spiritual image of sin and the so-called white man's revived Roman system, right? And what happened? Verse 6, and whoso falleth not down and worshipeth shall the same hour be cast into the midst of a burning fiery furnace. So if you don't bow down to the system, we read about not eating food sacrificed to idols, right? If you don't get down with this man's new world order, you will be put to death and or targeted. So let's read about this. So this emperor, this devil, he said everybody has to perform a sacrifice to the Roman god. What if Esau came to you, man? Look, if you want to stay alive, sacrifice to Jupiter or this god or whatever the case may be. We read that in the Apocrypha. The sacrifices had to be performed in the presence of a Roman magistrate. Right? So the sacrifice had to be done in public, man. And the Lord said we're going to be delivered up before kings and governors. Right? Let me get that real quick. And magistrates. We read in Acts 16 that they brought them before the magistrates. Right? That happened to Paul and Silas. They were literally brought before the magistrates. Matthew chapter 10 and 17. But beware of men, for they will deliver you up to the councils, and they will scourge you in their synagogues. And ye shall be brought before governors and kings for my sake, for a testimony against them and the Gentiles. But when they deliver you up, take no thought how or what ye shall speak, for it shall be given you in that same hour what ye shall speak. Right? So you don't have to meditate, well, I got this big speech I want to say. No, hey, the Most High is going to give you what to say. So the sacrifices had to be performed in the presence of a Roman magistrate and be confirmed by a signed and witness certificate from the magistrate. This is wicked. Right? Let's read on. Decius' edict was intended to act as an empire-wide loyalty oath to the new emperor, who had come into power in 249 AD. Let's jump down. An unknown number of Christians were executed or died in prison for refusing to perform the sacrifices, including Pope Fabian. Others went into hiding. That's what the Lord said, we're going to be pilgrims on the earth, man. If you want to know what's going to befall us, read Ecclesiastes 3 and 15. This same spirit is going to happen all over again. Brothers are going to go to hiding. In 2 Maccabees 6, man, they have to keep the Sabbath day secretly in the cave. Right? Let's get that in 2 Maccabees. And if you called yourself a Jew, it was over for you, man. 2 Maccabees 6 and 9. And whoso will not conform themselves to the manners of the Gentiles should be put to death. Then might a man have seen the present misery. And this sums it up right here. If you don't conform yourself to the image of the beast and to the manner of the Gentiles, you will get put to death. Let's jump down to verse 11. And others that have run together into caves nearby. You might have brothers that have to run into caves, man. Bushes. Mountains. We're going to be put to flight, man. Yahweh Shah said, just pray that your flight don't be in the winter. He never said you ain't going to be put to flight. When you get put to flight by the Roman armies again, just pray that it's not in the winter, nor on the Sabbath day. So expect us to get put to flight. And others that have run together into caves nearby to keep the Sabbath day secretly, being discovered to Philip, were all burnt together because they made a conscience to help themselves for the honor of the most sacred day. Right? So this thing is going to go down. It's about to go down. So let's read on this. Others went into hiding, whilst many apostatized and performed the ceremonies. Right? And then you had Israelites that apostatized, meaning they the ones that denounce the truth. Right? I denounce Yahweh Bashmi Oshai. You got men that denounce the Roman way of life, and you're gonna have men that say, you know what? Maybe it's not that bad. Maybe the Most High really isn't real. Maybe I made all of that up. Maybe Yahushua is not returning. I am under grace. You know what? Let me sacrifice that idol. So, hey, this thing is real, man. Right? Now it reads, the effects on Christians were long lasting. It caused tension between those who had performed the sacrifices or fled and those who had not. Yeah, and it's going to be a big deal. If you get caught out there sacrificing the idol, brother ain't going to want to deal with you, man. Or sacrificing to an idol. Right? Let's jump down to the edict of this persecution. The edict ordered that everyone in the empire, with the exception of Jews, must sacrifice and burn incense to the gods and to the well-being of the emperor in the presence of a Roman magistrate, and get a written certificate called a libellus. Right? This had been done. This is just wicked, man. So you have men walking around with their sheet of paper. Yeah, I sacrificed to the Romans, man. Right? Yeah, I got my papers. So they was unrolling their damn papers saying, yeah, I'm really a Roman. They had to get a damn written certificate, man, that this had been done, signed by the magistrate and witnesses. Right? So you had men that had to really put their life on the line, man. Right, let's get this in Matthew. Actually, let's go to Romans chapter 12. Right? Romans chapter 12 and verse 1. I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of Yahweh, Bashmi Abishai, that ye present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy, acceptable unto the Most High, which is your reasonable service. Now, the ultimate level and the highest level of presenting your bodies as a living sacrifice is what? Being put to death for this truth. This is beyond holding camp for an extra hour. This is beyond, stand up an hour later. This is beyond, the light things that we go through. A man that makes his body a living sacrifice is a man who's willing to put his life on the line for the truth. Right? And this is what it's going to come down to, man. When it hits the fan. Right? Let's go to the book of Matthew, the 16th chapter. Right? So the other persecution we had, which we brought up before, was the Diocletian persecution. Now, Diocletian was an actual Jake. Right? You had Diocletian, I believe you had Augustus, Maximilian, and I believe Augustus, if I didn't say that already, but he was part of the Tetrarchy. Right? Constantius, that was his name. You had Diocletian, Maximian, Galerius, and Constantius. Right? This was a Tetrarchy, and these men put out another edict. Right? They put an edict out persecuting the Israelites. Right? In America, they're going to put their edict out. They will put their edict out. Now I want to jump down to this persecution. Right? Let's see where I want to. And this guy, he was off, man. He was off. Right? Let's see. I actually had a point. Well, I'll jump up, right? There was something I wanted to read, but I wanted to have a point. So it reads, persecution was not the only outlet of the Tetrarchy's moral fervor. And 295, either Diocletian or his Caesar issued an edict from Damascus. Actually, that's not what I want. Salaki, let me jump up. Right? There was a particular point that I wanted. right? Salaki, bear with me. Okay, here's what I wanted. All right, this paragraph right here. So I'm not going to read this whole thing, but I'm going to read this part. Now, when you read this account of the Diocletian persecution, and you compare it to us in the truth, there are what somebody would say uncanny, that's what the Cardinal man would say, uncanny similarities, right? Why? Because Ecclesiastes 1:9, 3:15, the Lord requires that which is past. So check this out, right? It reads, to the followers of the traditional cults, Christians were odd creatures. Now, as we read this, think about what they call us. We're odd creatures, man. We wear fringes. It's odd. We don't eat pork. It's odd. Everybody eats pork. We keep the Sabbath. Not everybody keeps the Sabbath. We're odd, man. We grow our beards out. We actually, love our wives and our children, man. We're not child molesters and murderers, creeps, demons. So we're odd creatures, man. We don't involve ourselves in the holidays and the festivities of the world. Right? So we're odd creatures, not quite Roman, but not quite barbarian either. Their practices were deeply threatening to traditional mores, right? Meaning social norms. And they are threatening, man. Because what's tradition? Pop fireworks July 4th. Us not keeping that, you have millions of Israelites in the truth. That's threatening to tradition. Because what does America want you to do? They want you to get drunk, meaning spiritually off the wine of Babylon the Great, and they hate for you to sober up. Every creep hates when their victim sobers up. These guys that put them pills and people drink and stick their nasty long finger in there, and they mad when that person don't drink that drink, man. Go ahead, drink. Go ahead, drink. Yeah, drink. I don't want to drink. Why not? Right? Dude, relax, man. Because they want you to drink so they can take advantage of you. Or when you drink and it don't hit you, now they get hot. They hate when you're sober, when you're vigilant. But they love it when you're drunk, because when you're drunk, they could just have their way with you. Right? So the Romans, they hate when you're drunk. Habakkuk chapter 2, or when you're sober, rather. 2:15. Woe unto him that giveth his neighbor drink, that puttest thy bottle to him, and makest him drunken also, that thou mayest look on their nakedness. And where's the account of us asking to drink? Right? Where's that at, man? He puts his bottle to you and makes you drink. He forces religion and politics and sorcery down your damn throat like a creep. And that's why they said it's a threat. Where's this article at? Their practices were deeply threatening to traditional mores, right? Christians rejected public festivals. How many brothers on the live? How many of you are following the public festival of July 4th? Nobody. God forbid. God forbid a brother say, well, you know what? I'm thinking about it, but now what? No, man. We're not celebrating July 4th. We reject public festivals. And the disciples were first called Christians in Antioch. We didn't celebrate Father's Day. They sent a massive Father's Day message out on the plantation. Hey, guess what? I didn't reply. Oh, thank you, man. We didn't celebrate Mother's Day, man. So the Christians reject public festivals, refused to take part in the imperial court. Yeah, we're not getting down with your imperial court, man. Right? Avoided public office. You don't have brothers that say, yeah, I want to run for mayor. How many brothers on the live now you want to run for mayor? You want to be a local delegate, congressman, senator, governor. You want to represent the House of Representatives, right? No, man. So you can't tell me that this isn't Rome all over again. This was during the time of Diocletian. This is literally everything that the brothers in the truth go through. We avoid public office. We don't vote. We have one king, and his name's Yahweh Shai. And the Lord said, our governors, our public officials, they proceed of ourselves, man. Right? Quick precept. Jeremiah chapter 30 and verse 21. And their nobles shall be of themselves, and their governors shall proceed from the midst of them. So you can't vote or have a noble or a leader of another nation. The prophecy says your own internal leaders are going to be Israelites, and they're going to come from the midst of you. Governors, nobles, princes. And I will cause him to draw near, and he shall approach unto me. For who is he that engaged his heart to approach unto me, saith Yahweh? And ye shall be my people, and I will be your God. So you don't have to worry about, okay, well, public office. No, we're going to have our own offices set up by Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. Right, let's read on. So we avoided public office and publicly criticize ancient traditions, which we do, right? What are ancient traditions? We publicly criticize Thanksgiving. We'll do a live on it, man. Straight up, man. Publicly, man. We'll go out there on the highways and byways, and your ancient tradition of Groundhog's Day, we'll call it absolute folly, man. Your ancient tradition of damn Flag Day is madness. And we don't do it in secret and pass a note around the class. We do lives, and we'll roll up on you, man. We'll be in your chief concourse, all in front of your chief people, the Edomites at. We'll be at the White House tomorrow, man. You know, most High willing. Publicly criticizing ancient traditions. Conversions. Now check this out. Tell me this ain't the truth. This is the account of Rome. Conversions tore families apart. So when you come into the truth, it tears families apart. This was in Rome. Let's go to Matthew. Actually, let's get Micah. The Lord said conversions tore families apart. Right? Micah, the 7th chapter. Right? This is Micah chapter 7 and verse 6. For the son dishonoreth the father, and the daughter riseth up against her mother. The daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law, and a man's enemies are the men of his own house. Same thing in Matthew chapter 10, 34 and down. A man's enemies are the men of his own house. Why? Because conversions tear the families apart. Justin Martyr, right, tells us of a husband, pagan husband, who denounces Christian wife. Yeah, because you got Eve that come into the truth, but their husband don't come into the truth. And he denounces woman. And Tertullian tells of children disinherited for becoming Christians. Right? Because now your mother and your father, they call you a cult. You're in a hate group. I don't want to deal with you. You're not my son anymore. You got the devil on you. You know, and a brother told me that he wanted to move in, you know, with his folks, and his folks said, hey, look, hey, your God can't be in my house, man. You know, not so many words. There's only room for one God in here. And it was white Jesus. So you have mothers, grandmothers disinheriting their children. Now, you don't see this happening in Christianity. So that's how you know that this Christians is not the modern day Christianity. Modern day Christianity, they are for public office. They're for ancient traditions. They're involved mightily within public festivals. They don't disinherit their children. They take them to church. So this Christianity that you see going on in today's society is not the Christians of old. Right? Let's go to 1 Peter, the 4th chapter. right? And you can see that, man, based off of the fruit that declareth if the tree hath been dressed. Right, let's go to 1 Peter, the 4th chapter, right? Again, 1 Peter chapter 4 and verse number 14, right? And I also want, I'm gonna jump down. If ye be reproached for the name of Hamashiach, happy are ye, for the spirit of glory and of the Most High resteth upon you. On their part, he is evil spoken of, but on your part, he is glorified. So if you get reproached for this truth, you should be happy. Don't think you've done anything wicked. This isn't because of your sins. This isn't because of you forgot to read that chapter. You're reproached because you are in this truth. See, a lot of people, you get reproached for this ministry and you start thinking about the last evil thing that you did, man. Now, there's nothing wrong with examining yourself, but in the time of Jacob's trouble, you know, you have to understand that this thing is written, right? And that we should be thankful to go through what Yahushua went through. When you read Acts, the 5th chapter, 40 on down, the apostles, when they got beat, they got up rejoicing that they were counted worthy to suffer shame for Yahushua. A lot of brothers, you get emotional. You know, you're supposed to be happy when these things befall you. I get to go through what the Lord went through. You know, verse 15, but let none of you suffer as a murderer or as a thief or as an evildoer or as a busybody in other men's matters, right? So you can't be a murderer and you murder somebody, you get arrested. Okay, yes, I'm being reproached for the name of the Lord. No, brother, you're a murderer, brother. That's first-degree murder, right? You're doing 35 to life, brother. No, but you know, it's for the Lord. I'm being reproached for. No, brother, you are a serial killer, right? Or you might have a brother that's a thief, man, and he get caught stealing a bag of hot Cheetos. Oh man, the Lord dealing with me, man. No, brother, that's called petty theft. It's a misdemeanor. Hey, brother, you might do some time, man. You got caught, brother. I'm sorry, you got to show up, brother. You stole a bag of hot Cheetos. You see, there are certain things that brothers, they think the Lord is dealing with them, and no, the brother, you're just going off. Right? It's not you being reproached for the Lord. You're being judged for your wickedness. So that's why the apostle Peter had to kind of qualify that. Verse 16. Yet if any man suffer as a Christian, let him not be ashamed, but let him glorify God on this behalf. You see that? So again, a lot of brothers won't call themselves a Christian due to the confusion that it may bring. You know, now, again, Christ goes back to the word Christos, which means anointed. The suffix IAN means a follower or pertaining to. So these are men that followed the anointed, that followed the Messiah. Right? Hamashiach or Mashiachites, however you would like to say it. Right? Because Mashiach means anointed in the Hebrew, you know? So you had men that followed them and they were called Christians. But this is not the Christians who went through the persecution that we're reading about in the history, right? Let's pull this word up, Christian. Here's that word in the Greek. Christianos, right? Christianos, and it means Christian, a follower of Christ. So we know his real name is in Christ. It is Yahushua, right? And it really, Christ in the Hebrew is Hamashiach, or really Mashiach, right? Which means Messiah. Messiah means anointed. All right? So Yahushua is the Messiah. Hamashiach Yahushua, the Messiah Yahushua, the anointed Yahushua, right? So again, let's go back to this. It reads, what about the Christians? Let's go back to this. Hold on, now this thing's about to get nasty. In righteousness, right? It reads, traditional Roman religion was inextricably interwoven into the fabric of Roman society and state. But Christians see society and state as hand in hand with their pagan gods, right? But Christians, meaning Israelites that believed in Yahushua, refused to observe its practices. In the words of Tacitus, check this out. Christians showed hatred of the human race. See, in Rome, they were called a hate group. In the ancient Roman Empire, the Israelites were called a hate group. What do you think is going on now? The Israelites are called a hate group. Remember, Christians was really a derogatory term put upon the Israelites that followed Yahushua. Just like they call us black Hebrew Israelites. The term Christian was used in a negative context in that same fashion, man. You know? Let's get that in Acts 11. Right? We paraphrased it, but let's read it, man. Acts chapter 11 and verse 26. And when he had found him, meaning Barnabas found Paul, he brought him into Antioch. And it came to pass that a whole year they assembled themselves with the church and taught much people. And the disciples were called Christians first in Antioch. So they were called followers of Christ. Remember, they spoke Greek, Christianos, right? That was what they would say. And Paul and Barnabas, they got word of that, and that was a name that was put on them. That's why Peter said, if you're even being called a Christian, then you have to deal with it, man. Right? Let's go back to that in 1 Peter. Right? It reads, but if any man suffer as a Christian, because you're going to suffer as a black Hebrew Israelite, man. Let him not be ashamed. You are an Israelite. Now, we're not black Hebrew Israelites, but don't be ashamed that you're suffering in this truth, man. Don't be ashamed that they're putting these articles and these clips and videos and montage and edits together to defame the ministry, man. The Lord said, let him not be ashamed, but let him glorify the Most High on this behalf. All right, so let's go back to this. Salakia, back into this Diocletian persecution. Christians showed, quote unquote, hatred of the human race, man. So you brothers that go to Romans, you gotta watch Romans 9 and 13, Malachi 1 and 3 on down, right? Proverbs 6 and 6, all these precepts that deal with hatred, man. You want to go into you're talking about putting them in slavery. And the Christians, the black Hebrew Israelites now, you are showing hatred toward the human race. Salaki. Right? Among the more credulous, Christians were thought to use black magic in pursuit of revolutionary aims, all types of slander, and to practice incest and cannibalism, right? Because we eat the body of Yahushua. So we're cannibals because we eat the body of Yahushua. So only a damn idiot, a fool, will call us cannibals, man. Those guys eat the body of Yahushua. They don't believe in interracial marriage. They practice incest. They're descendants of your father's tribe. So now the Israelites practice incest and cannibalism. So, they do these things even to this day, man. They can still say we did because we eat the body of our Lord and drink his blood. And you had a lot of Jews that got offended at that in the book of John, the 6th chapter. And they walked no more with him. Incest, cannibalism, black magic, man. I don't know how they're going to pull up this one in the last days. The black Hebrew Israelites and black magic. Hatred of the human race. And this was all during what? The Diocletian persecution. Right? So you're going to have these events happen where more and more is going to come out about the Hebrew Israelites and certain charges and crimes that we allegedly, right, have done, man. You know, and again, they're using this to build up a report against the Israelites. Now, I want to read this, right? So the grandson went missing. Wright told Fox this week that she contacted police and took a picture of her grandson's injuries. His face was battered. When I got him, he had a black eye and a busted lip. Now, I don't know if there's pictures. I don't know if she could prove that. If she's embellishing the story, she made that up. I don't know. I haven't seen any pictures. Now, they could have paid the grant. This could have been a whole big shakedown, huh? To raid that straightway ministry or not. They could have been outright judgment. Hey, the parents could have just went off and were excessive, you know, and caused all hell to break loose. The Most High know it. But we do know, regardless, that this is going to be used as part of the report when it comes to targeting the Hebrew Israelites, that we're violent, we're domestic terrorists, and we're murderers, and we shoot up. This is what they're going to say. They may clip the footage that I'm saying, add the damn deep fake technology to it. Let me see if I can find it. I don't know if brother saw that, man. They got this deep fake technology. Let's see. Right? Well, you can pretend. They got these press conferences, man. See, they had one with they do it a lot with the athletes. Now look at this. This AI is getting dangerous. I believe I played this before, but for those who didn't see it, I'm gonna play it again. Right? So hold on, let me play this through the spirit. So this stuff is getting real, man. Right? Hold on. Hold on, Salaki. Right? And people are doing this, you know, like a joke, but a lot of people are going to get caught out there, man. You know, a lot of people are going to get caught out there. To have this technology and it falls into the wrong hands, and everybody's hands is the wrong hands, you know, you're going to have these events, man. So check this out. So you can see his mouth making this, you know, the words, and it's his actual voice. Oh boy, it's like I gotta go back. Right? So it's like I'm gonna play this clip and go from there, man. Right? And again, they might hook this up.
Man, where do I start? Clay was out there building a brick house going 0 for.
Hold on.
Where do I start? Clay was out there building a brick house going 0 for 10. I mean, how do you score 0 points? He was working real hard to make sure CP3 never gets a ring. And don't even get me started on Draymond. He beat Jordan.
So how do you get to, obviously we don't know, but how do you get his voice to say things he never said and match it up with his mouth? He never said this, man.
Jordan Poole's ass for making fun of LeBron's bunions and ruined our team.
And his lips are literally moving to the words that he's saying. It's not like those old Chinese movies when they speak and, you know, you can barely, you know, the mouth don't match, man. This actually matches.
P3 never gets a ring. And don't even get me started on Draymond. He beat Jordan Poole's ass for making fun of LeBron's bunions and ruined our team. He should retire immediately and fight Jake Paul. As for me, I'm calling up LeBron and going to the Lakers. Can you imagine? Me, LeBron, AD, and Bronny. And KD, we know you like switching teams, but no, you can't.
See that? Right? You see that right there? So, you know, don't be surprised, man. if these devils, you see footage of a brother, it's like here, you see footage of a brother saying things, and he never said it, man. You know? So all hell is breaking loose. False flags are on the rise. The technology is there. Brothers have to remain diligent and keep watch, man. Right? Keep watching. There's more and more that they may unfold, man. Right? And there's more and more news and information that's going to come out that's going to put the Israelites in a negative light. Right? But our protection lies in Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. We are not worried about the defamation. We are not, the Lord said, evil report and yet true, man. Being defamed and we entreat, being reviled, we bless it. In 1 Corinthians, the 4th chapter. So we bless and we accept and we take on the negativity, knowing that the Most High is going to vindicate us and the Most High is going to destroy our adversaries and destroy these wicked lands. So with that, we're going to close up, giving our honor and glory to Yahweh. By Shema Mashiach, Most High willing you are edified. Kwam Yashab. Shalom.